going live.
I can't really see TJ too much.
That's it.
That's all right. Who needs to see TJ?
Hello, everybody.
Is what I'm saying.
Hi. Tried to get our technological challenges out of the way early today, so.
All right.
Right.
So I can't see who's on today, so I apologize. I'll just say hi.
See, it's never without its faults. And
Right.
you guys don't see what's happening, because you know that. Only we can, and it's just a hot mess.
Yeah, so,
Tech.
but hey.
Oh, I'm trying to reconnect.
What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing?
Hey.
It's one of those days, gray and ugly, cloudy.
It is.
Yeah.
So we've got wine to cheer us up.
Woohoo.
Yep.
Cheers.
Hold on, I gotta move over to personal hotspot world.
We have a fun game to play. I just came up with it spur of the moment, and the wine bottle is hidden somewhere within the view. So whoever sees it and comments on it, you win something.
Yes.
If you're of age, you can win a bottle of wine.
Yes.
If you're not, then you get cookies.
Yes.
Exactly.
Isn't that a fun game?
I think it sounds
Everyone?
like a blast.
Hello?
I can't hear you. Where's TJ's fiddling?
Sorry guys, I
Fiddle faddle.
gotta click over. I wasn't doing well in the Wi-Fi world.
So,
Never do Wi-Fi.
but today, so while TJ's doing that, we're going to talk about funny things that have happened to us and stories we've heard from other agents
Yes.
in real estate.
Yeah, because there's a lot of funny stuff that happens.
And it happens and things we see.
Crazy
and,
stuff.
You know, it just... People have this HGT vision of what it's like to be a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's just not all made for TV.
It's no $1 million listing
Yeah,
show.
no.
No hardcore negotiating on the phone and all that stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, who wants to lead off? TJ's still fiddling.
Alright, if it doesn't work
You
this time, then
saw
I'm
it.
just gonna steal somebody else's
Who
video.
is
We
it?
have a winner.
Someone already saw it?
Yeah.
Who is it? I can't remember.
All right, next week, I'm telling you, we're hiding it better.
Yes.
I told her it was a pretty
Congratulations,
obvious spot.
you win.
It looks like
Woohoo!
it's sticking on Jenny's. It looks like it's sticking out the top of my head. But-
Yeah. I didn't know where else to put it.
So who wants to lead off something funny that's happened to them?
So, how about I tell you
TJ's
something?
got some stories.
I do, because when we were looking for a house, we were looking at a lot of different places. And the most interesting house that we saw, some friends went looking with us because it was our first house, and they came up from the basement. And they're like, "We think you should come down here." And we start to go down the basement and notice that there are 5 deadbolts on the side door. And we get down to the basement, and it's nothing but lights and outlets. Apparently, the previous owners had a marijuana growing operation going in the basement, and their clients thought that they could only get in through the side door. Needless to say, we kind of passed up on that house.
Well, I had one of those too. I had a young couple I was showing around, and they were looking at duplexes. So they wanted to buy where they could buy one side and live in the other. And so we were in this duplex, and the first time we went, the tenant was there, and the place just reeked of marijuana smoke. I mean, you open the door and it just hit you in the face. Well, they didn't say anything. I thought, well, maybe they don't know what that is. Like, you know? So I didn't say anything. We finished the showing.
They burned sage to get rid of those.
And they never
Smells a lot
said,
like that too.
the client never said anything. So I just let it go. And so they wanted to go on a second showing. I'm like, okay, well, I set it up and I asked that this time the tenant not be there, which, you know, that's the preference always anyways, but, you know, sometimes the tenants do what they're going to do. So we go back the second time, and it was a young man and a young woman, and he walked in one of the bedrooms, and he immediately turns around and he looks at his girlfriend and says, "I don't think you should come in here." To which she responded immediately. She's like, "I'm going in there." She's like, I really want to know.
Yeah, I'm going in.
No,
What's in the house. So not only was he smoking it, but in one of the closets, yeah, he had his whole grow operation going on in there too. So word to the wise.
Don't grow pot in your house.
Look, number one. And and your house is for sale. Come on, man. Like, you know, like, be smart about it at least. You know, just don't leave it out there.
You know, and it's funny too, like, why is it always the basements and the bedrooms where weird stuff is happening? Like, why not just enter through the front door and bam, it's gonna hit you in the face?
Yeah.
Like, the only really crazy thing we had, you know, we were talking about stuff before this, weird stories, because it's hard to, you know, remember everything, but I did have fires, and if you're watching, Debbie, you'll know. But there was this room under the stairs, and, you know, like hidden behind a bookshelf. I mean, why do you have a room under the stairs hidden behind a book? Like with venting and like some for breathing,
like Harry Potter
oxygen.
style?
No, not even that nice. Like it was creepy. It was like, what in the world is this? Climate control, the whole thing. And you just can't help but wonder, why is someone have this under the shelf? Well, apparently it was a wine cellar. He was going to like it wasn't to keep anybody.
That's not where I thought you were going.
Well, that's not where our thoughts were going either with this hidden room that had, and chicken wire. I think there was chicken wire too or something. It was really, it was weird.
Yeah. It's just, you see the funniest things, right? I mean, so we went in, I was showing a friend of mine, Lindsay. If you're out there, Lindsay, hello. We've seen it a lot. Like me and Lindsay have gotten, she's an investor, and we've seen some pretty interesting places. But one that sticks out to me was this. It was a family home, very nice, on the water. Like there's like a pond or, you know, a small, like, you know, lake, not a lake, but, you know, whatever, in the back. And so we were walking around the house, and we go in the son's bedroom, and I kid you not, there's a stack of Playboys. And it's like they're just laying on the nightstand, and we're like, oh my goodness. So, again,
you know the showing's coming.
put it up.
I just got a like for the stack of Playboys.
Yeah.
So.
See? I mean, maybe it attracts some buyers,
it's not like these people don't know you're coming to their house.
I know, you approved of the showing.
And you know what? Snapchat is really good. If anyone's on Snapchat, there, you know, and you see sometimes stuff. And there was an agent who was showing a house, and there were mannequins all over the house, like mannequins in the bathroom, posed over the toilet, like over the bathtub. Like there was a sunken.
So what was the mannequin? Like he was cleaning it or something? Like
just standing over it. Didn't I show you that picture? Like that, in a boa, like a dress, you know, like just standing over the bathtub.
You know, I saw one like that at a realtor open house. It was on tour, and another agent had the house on tour, and you went upstairs to the bathroom, and there was a bathtub with a sign on it that says "does not work," and there was a mannequin sitting in the bathtub like it was taking a bath. And it made me jump when I walked into the room. So I'm like, oh my god, there's somebody actually bathing in here. No, it was just a mannequin. And then in the next room was like a giant bear head over the bed looking down.
Yeah, you don't
in
like
the
those
guest
animal
room.
heads in houses.
You know, I don't mind them.
You haven't gotten that.
This one was positioned so that if you were laying in the bed,
you
would be looking up at this giant bear mouth over you.
That's got nightmares written all over it.
That's someone who appreciates short-term house guests.
Yeah, that's like, get me out of this house. Was that the guest room?
It was the guest room.
Yeah, see? Don't stay too long. I'm gonna creep you out.
So, and then I had one where, like, the cats. So, like, we as agents, we get, when we set up a showing, you get an email, and it tells you, like, specific showing instructions. And usually, the showing instructions are usually pretty simple. You know, like, take off your shoes if it's raining, or
leave a card.
Turn off the lights.
You know,
turn off the lights, whatever. You know, so those are typical things. So there was one, and in all caps it said, "Do not pet the cat." And so
you just had to do it.
Oh my god! Like the whole time we're there, that cat followed us around, and I'm like, I really want to pet this cat.
I just want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I knew he was going to bite me, but yeah, as soon as someone tells you not to do something, doesn't that immediately make you want to? Do it? It's like the teenager in me just comes out. Like, you know, don't touch the stove; it's hot. Oh, it really is.
That's weird. They were right. There was one time I was showing a house, and it was out in the country, and there was it was a junky day. I mean, it was sleeting and cold outside and just wet and horrible and gray. And we're inside, and they've got a nice fire going, and it was just and then all of a sudden you heard this noise from the door, and there's a cat that jumped up, like hanging from the window, meowing. It wanted to and like let me in, and just hanging there staring at us. Well, there were no instructions about pets or cats or anything, and I'm like, does that cat belong in here? It wants to come inside. I don't think it did, and I think I called the agent too. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, this cat wants to come in. Do the owners have a cat? Should I let it in? Could you imagine if it was like if I didn't let it in? The cat was in this house.
We have a cat now. Congratulations, we're not going to write an offer, but we have to with a cat.
And it's an outdoor cat, so I'm sure it would be leaving surprises.
We did write an offer, I think, on the house too. Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of strange noises, I listen periodically when I'm at the gym to a podcast about stories in real estate, and one agent relayed a story. She went to show a house, and there was something in the agent-to-agent remarks that there had been fire damage in the house. Okay. So they were going to sell it as is. And the neighbors were there, and they pulled up, and she said, well, do you know anything about the fire damage, anything about the history? And the neighbor said, yes. The seller thought that there were demons in her house. And in order to rid her house of these demons, she trapped them in the master bedroom closet and set the closet on fire to destroy them.
I'm sure that's not all it destroyed.
No. I mean, it burned out the master bedroom, and there was significant fire damage. But
that's her story, and she's sticking to it.
You know there's a backstory.
It's a small town, so the fire marshal, everybody knows the story.
System
Meth operation.
It was the demons. Have you ever been in a house where you get like just that creepy?
Oh yeah, hair stands up on your
neck.
head.
Like there's just a real bad vibe in there, and you just.
I have an investor that really likes the super distressed properties, like the more the better, and he does beautiful things with them. But there are sometimes we've walked into a house, and I just look around thinking, this is right out of a horror movie.
Okay, so I a few years ago was showing properties up in the Hoover Reservoir area, and I told you guys these, but you guys haven't heard this one yet.
But they still make us laugh.
Yeah, this is just it's more along the scary than it's kind of funny too. But anyway, so my client had shown up about a half hour before I got there, and he said, and it was an estate sale. The home was completely empty. And he called and said, the doors are open and all the lights are on. And I said, okay, well, that's weird. Don't go in. Just wait until I get there. And hang up the phone. And in my head, I'm like, well, that's weird. I guess it's an estate sale. They knew we were coming, so they just got the house ready for us. And anyway, so I show up there. Sure enough, doors are wide open and all the lights are on. And so we go in. And you know that how everyone tells you should be listening to your gut. And your intuition. No, not me. It's going off, but throw caution to the wind. Let's see this house. So the house in and of itself was incredible because it was straight from the 70s. Like shag carpet, had not a real Brady Bunch vibe, and like the foil wallpaper with the velvets and the foil flowers.
That's nice.
Okay, but the potential, anyway, so we're walking through and all of a sudden we hear a crash. And, we both turned to each other, what was that? I don't know. Red light going, let's just keep looking. So then we walk into the kitchen and there's tools all over the counter, all over the house. And I said, so in my mind, there's contractors doing work here. They knew there was a showing, so they left, but they left the doors and the, lights on and okay, let's just keep going. So we're walking around, whatever. We go to the basement at that point and figured out what the crash was a door slamming, and underneath you could see feet. Well, there was a squatter in the house. So not that we knew, but at that point we were like, get out, get out, get out. So I called the agent to let her know that this was going on. But a few days later she called and asked if there had been a McDonald's cup full of coffee on the counter when we were there. And I said, no, but there were tools. And she goes, that's interesting. Yeah, I think there's someone in the house. Yeah, so
I had an agent who knew that there was someone in the house. It was an agent owner. And I called to see the house, and she said, well, just so you know, I bought the house with my ex, but then we broke up before we moved into it, so I won't touch the house. But I'm 99% sure that it's now a crack house. There are holes all through the floor. There's no electric, but every once in a while we see fire through the window where they're using it for heat. So, but you're welcome to see it anytime you want. Here's the code.
No, thank you.
I told my client that we could see it if we wanted and relayed the story. He chose not to see that.
Yeah, I think I would probably suggest not seeing the house is a good idea.
So back in the day, like a long time ago, my partner and I were shopping for ourselves. We were looking around, and so we looked at this condo. So in Nationwide, like behind like some office buildings, they have like condos.
Okay.
So we're in these condos, and an agent actually met us there to show us, and so we go in, and it's empty, and there's pictures of, this is actually kind of sad, so it doesn't fall in the, along comes your way, here comes Wayne, and not so funny.
Bring us down because it's a great day outside.
No, so there's
I'm not going to your level, Wayne.
It shouldn't be funny, but in a little bit it is. So anyways, come to find out, the reason it's for sale is that half of the couple, the young woman, had passed away.
Oh.
So I start looking around and looking at all the pictures on the wall, and so I found out that the woman had committed suicide. I'm like, oh geez, I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Just
Yeah.
And so my mind starts going, right? The more I'm starting thinking about it, I'm like, did she do it here? And the agent goes, yeah, there's some wiggle room in the price. Like, so I mean, not funny the circumstances,
Not at all.
but like, yeah.
But yeah,
It's awkward, right? Like.
I had neighbors tell my buyers after they'd been in the house for a week that someone committed suicide in the house. So I called the seller's agent and I'm like, did someone really? And he said, no, they attempted suicide.
Oh.
And it wasn't successful. But like, why would you tell somebody that? Like, know the story first. Like, she was legitimately freaked out, and I don't blame her.
Well, there's a lot to that. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to buy a house that someone has passed away in, and that is a legitimate thing that needs FYI to be disclosed. If you know of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I don't know.
Yeah, if someone asks you that, you definitely need to be honest with them because.
On the funnier and lighter topic.
Yeah, let's get back on funny.
So
we've got questions.
Again, back to my friend Lindsay, who I was also showing another home. It was rented out, and we show up, and like, I don't like guns. Guns freak me out, So I'm like, so we go in this house, and the tenants are all there. Every room we went in, there was a gun on every nightstand, and Lindsay and I are like, we need to get the F out of here, before, I don't know, it just freaks you out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not used to walking around and just seeing guns. There were kids in the house,
we need to be secured and locked away.
And again, it goes back, as a tenant, they get like a 24-hour notice, put that stuff up. What if we had kids with us? Bad.
I mean, I've had clients that have guns, but they always lock them up and put them in the gun safe before anyone comes over for a showing.
I'm not against people having them.
No, but not out on the coffee table. When you're in there showing the house, that's not where it goes.
Want a cup of coffee at 45, some Thin Mints.
Yeah.
Whatever restriction.
Look at the bear head that's hanging over my head.
Bring the Thin Mints and the guns right to the bed and you got a party.
Oh, so what are some of the fun questions that buyers have asked?
So this is what prompted, because there's an article that was funny stuff that has been asked, and this is not stuff that has been asked of us.
No.
It's just funny stuff that you come across. And
these are
I've got some
questions.
funny ones too. And if these people are listening, I'm sorry on the telling ways, I won't mention your name, but I've got some funny questions.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I've gotten some crazy questions like that. I think, I'm getting set up for, what's her reaction going to be? We're going to post it somewhere. Just shock value kind of stuff,
Right.
I think. But,
You're like, where's the hidden camera?
yeah, I know, they've got to be setting me up for something. This is just crazy. But anyway, so the first question on this, so obviously this, you can tell where the state is, this one was posed, but how do you keep alligators from coming up into the toilet? Is that legit? Like, is that?
No, I mean, like,
No.
how big is your
Snakes can't?
toilet? Like, yeah.
But you know what I would be asking? Like, I know people who lived in Florida. If I was buying a place in Florida, like, how do I keep snakes out of my pool area?
Yeah.
'Cause they
Well, and they can go in the
petrify
pool
snakes.
too, right?
Yeah.
So if you get chased by an alligator, I have family in Florida, they tell me, and I had a nightmare about this. Yeah, you run zigzag. They can go very fast in a straight line, but they can't run
If you
zigzag.
watch survival shows, you would know that too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're thrown into the jungle.
Is that a lesson on Bear Grylls?
No, Naked and Afraid. It's actually a really good show. Yeah, so he said, the agent that put this question in said, I couldn't answer that question seriously, so I made up some weird solution. I told them pour vinegar down the toilet once a month. So that's funny. Alright, so question number 2. Do any swingers live in the neighborhood?
So, yeah, I don't know.
So generally speaking, I don't talk to my clients about neighborhood demographics, and that would just
That would be
one-
steering.
Yes, that would be.
If you want a neighborhood where swingers live,
Yeah, and sometimes, like, there's just questions you can't legitimately answer.
Right.
And so this one is, the answer was, unsure what to say, she countered with, drive around the neighborhood and see. After all, aren't swingers very friendly? That's funny.
what are some funny things people have asked you? Let's just throw them out there.
Oh, God, there's such pressure.
Why don't you start us off, Wayne?
So I'll
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
one.
give
So
us some.
I had a client, we were going through this whole thing, and he asked if, so we were actually getting relatively close to closing, and we come to find out that, like, his cash for closing was cash.
Legitimate
Like,
cash.
He thought he could, like, basically do like a Breaking Bad and show up with a suitcase full of money, and, like, that would work. You can't do that. Like, you gotta.
I've had that conversation with people before, but it was more like, not that they had the cash, but just like, can you?
No.
No, you can't.
No. Banks like paper trails.
Yes.
So no, you can't have cash for closing. No. What are some other funny things? Like people ask me all the time. I know they ask you guys too. You know, real estate it just seems like so fun. You know, like I love looking at houses. I thought about getting my license.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, people, think that through. Like, I mean, that is a part of what we do, is showing people houses. But what you don't see is sometimes the true batshit crazy that we have to deal with on a regular basis. And it's so it's not all HGTV.
No, it's not
fun
even
and
at all.
games,
And
running around looking at houses.
you're showing houses, but you're not the one looking at them.
Right.
Really. I mean, you are.
You know, I was showing a house to a client one time, and the neighbor came over, and we ended up. I mean, the neighbor had a really sad story with some stuff that had happened in their family, and we ended up in a half-hour discussion about that, and almost forgot to even look at the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were really sweet, and he actually really considered that house,
Yeah.
and we almost put an offer on him because he bonded with the neighbor in the neighborhood, and like, oh, this would be a great place, but it was a little awkward for everybody
You
involved.
think?
Yeah.
So if Allison and Aaron happen to be out there or see this at some point, they'll recognize the story. But this goes back to the funny things you see in a house. We talked about this the other day. So there's I love dogs. We've talked about this a lot. You know, sometimes I like dogs way more than I like humans. But in any case, there's a tasteful line one can cross when you decorate your home. And this house was an entire shrine to their, what do you call it, litter of dogs. Like, I mean, it was very cute, and they were all black labs, but they had pictures. I mean, all over every wall in the house. And then we got down to the basement, and it was seriously like a morgue for dogs. Like, there were like 6 boxes and flowers and pictures of the dog.
Okay, see, when we have these conversations, all you make me feel like is I need to go home every day. I have no shrines.
See, but when we sell a house, people, we talk about this. It's like,
I don't know know if I'm going to put it away.
You show to show, you live to live. So there's different, and you have 2. Like this was
They're
like
big boxes. They were 130 pounds each.
But
and I have leashes and old bones.
Oh,
And
it
balls.
can be cute though. I mean, it's just, but
Taste
it
the way
can be a lot though.
see, I have one
It
too.
is a lot. I'll be the first one to say.
But on to happier stories.
Yeah.
I had a house that I looked at once where the basement revealed all sorts of surprises. So the house was built in the 60s or 70s, very mid-century modern, all through the upstairs. Like the couple that had lived there clearly never done anything when they bought the house. Like it was very 1970s. Like there was one pink bathroom and there was one blue bathroom, and there it looked like airplane lights going around the ceiling, that type of thing. And then you walk to the basement. And let me tell you, this was a party basement. There was green shag carpeting on the floors and the walls.
Yeah.
Pristine. Like they must have been steam cleaning that stuff like twice a year. The giant rock fireplace, a shower that could have easily fit 6 people. Like, what
Straight
kind
out
of
of
party?
Oscar.
Yeah, those people with the swingers might have liked that house.
And they had
Daniel Luna, you know I'm online Wednesday. Why are you calling me right now?
Did
they had 5 refrigerators in the basement and a kegerator.
Wow.
The parties that house must have seen.
Oh,
Wow.
how fun.
I mean,
How
the 70s were a time of drugs,
Yeah.
sex, and rock and roll, right? Like,
Right on.
And green shag carpet.
Yes. So,
Right.
so
the next question on the list, and I think this question I've heard in jest, maybe not. Does the car in the driveway come with the house? Like, I mean, you know, I've shown homes where there's like a car
it's
in
like
the
broken
garage.
down or something?
No, like it's a sports car and
Oh.
it's restored or something. You know,
They're not serious, are
I
they?
don't know, maybe if it was for sale, they'd buy
You
it.
know, one,
Write that in your contract. and see
One,
how they-
everything's
Yeah, see how they
negotiable, but
Yeah.
2, if it's personal property, let's take care of that outside of the real estate agreement. You don't want your house to have to
Lesson
appraise
for
for the
you. Yeah.
price of
Yeah.
the
Plus
restored
the car.
Ford Mustang.
And sometimes that car might be worth more than the house.
Yes.
So here. Anyway. Okay, so I was trying to read the answer and see if that was funny. It wasn't really. So we'll just skip that. So the number 4 and 5, is anyone buried in the backyard? And number 5, are there any ghosts in the house? So that kind of alludes back to our
Yeah.
original.
You have like a seance or something, bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them back.
Yeah, so this agent, I usually respond jokingly at first that there are ghosts, but they're friendly. But then immediately follow with, just kidding, because people can be really weird about those things. You think?
I know. Yeah.
Number 7, do you think the homeowner would give me a house without the down payment?
Yeah, because that'll be up to the owner.
Yeah, no. Can I come back at midnight to see how the moon here affects my soul?
You know, there's something to be said for looking at a house during different times of day. I've had people go back by a house when it's dark out to see if like the street lights are hitting the windows
Sure.
and things like that.
Sure.
That makes sense.
So
But
this,
your soul?
No, I mean,
No, like, the moon is the moon, people. Like,
well, full moons, everyone gets weird.
I know, but it's going to be a full moon at that house.
but you know, I'll say, you know, I mean, everybody,
We thought he was a werewolf.
everybody has
They've got
has
their
different things.
stuff.
So
Hey, live and let live. So this agent said, although a strange request, I drove over to home at midnight and let him in. The outcome, he didn't buy the house because the moon didn't feel right to him.
you know what? It goes back to
That's when I'm not working with that person anymore.
I look at it this way: if it's important to you,
No.
and it's something we can do, we'll do it.
But look, I've got boundaries, people. I'm not showing houses at midnight.
I don't know, you could get in. Like,
Let's
if
go,
it was
Michelle.
empty.
You'd have to go out or you'd have to get special permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Well,
seller's
I
going to be
mean,
like, oh,
Oh.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
You know, I did have somebody ask me once, and they were just curious. They're like, "Do you think that people should let someone spend the night in the house first to see how it feels?" I'm like, "No. I mean, you've watched way too many movies. I would not. If I were selling my house, I wouldn't say,
Absolutely
you know, you can
not.
spend the night in the house before you buy it just to see if you like it."
I wish we would have got permission from Rob Bailey to share So Rob bought his house, and the closing was delayed, but they let him have possession the day before closing anyways. And there's a very funny story about what happened that night, and I wish I got permission to tell it today.
Maybe
So
we'll
Rob,
bring
Are you
Rob
watching, Rob?
Rob, if you're out there, call in. We want you to share this story. It is so funny. And if not, I'll get
Daniel
permission to tell
DeLuna
you.
says, "Excuse me." He's on mine. Too
So,
funny.
wait, were you calling in a funny story, Dan? Because if so, we'll have you call the office phone.
Call the office phone, Dan.
Are you still watching?
Oh no, he says answer me, not
Oh,
excuse
answer me.
Oh.
Sorry. I've got one of the private message blurbs came up too. So
Sorry, I have to plug in my phone.
everyone's
Sorry.
in it. Hey, and you agents that are watching, put your funny stories in there because I know you are watching. And I know
Put
you
them on
can
Jenny's
film.
or TJ. My iPad wouldn't work today, and I can't read that far away. So
Yeah, so put it in. We'll be all up close and squinty. All right. So the next question: why is the garage unfurnished? When I heard that question, I thought this is going to be a long tour.
and a difficult client to work with.
Okay, number 10. Can we close all the blinds and doors and turn off the lights? I just need to see the space at its darkest. I was pretty sure that this was the end for me. After I said okay, I stood by the front door with my hand on the doorknob.
I mean, seriously.
But I mean, everyone says in this day and age, but there have been stories of agents who things have happened to when they're on showings. I mean, that's why I always make sure somebody knows who I'm with,
Yeah.
what houses I'm staying at, because
Way too many
safety
stories about
it has to be a concern when you're showing strange people houses.
Yeah.
I have one of those stories. I mean, someone was demonstrating a headlock maneuver. I was like, is this happening?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really weird. I had my mace in my hand, just in case.
But
But
that's when you kick him in the crotch, like.
it was an odd show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know if I have any other funny stories.
I don't either. And
I'm
the
sure
questions
more
are
will
all
come
done.
later.
Yeah, it's like it's working with people. I think you just while funny, it is legitimate stuff. People have concerns and questions about.
And don't
And
let
that's
this
good, yeah.
scare you away from asking questions.
No, these
If we
stories
laugh when you
were
ask, don't be offended.
yeah.
But it goes back to you don't know what you don't know. So
Right.
if you're asking a question about the transaction and it feels silly or stupid, you don't know what you don't know, and that's fine.
Those
And we
questions are
recognize
never
that.
silly.
But-
No question is silly.
And you know what? If something or concern or question is important to you, we'll try to find the answer, but we may not be able to.
Oh, I have another one. So this guy has long since fled, but I had someone commit fraud. Like
Really?
they owned restaurants, and it was a HUD transaction. HUD has very strict deadlines
Yeah.
on how this all works, and then we get to a certain point, and he stops communicating. It was like he fell off the edge of the earth. And I was psychodialing him because I'm like, he's got earnest money at stake. He's put money down, first earnest deposit, and in the contract it says you lose it if you don't close by the date, blah, blah, blah. So 3 days before closing, I get a call from a different bank. And she's like, well, I'm his lender. And I'm like, well, that's funny because I haven't heard from him for 3 weeks. And now, you're going to do this and we're supposed to close in 3 days. There's no way you're going to close this in 3 days. She goes, we'll work, we'll get it done. Okay, I don't believe you, but okay.
Yeah.
So 2 days after that, I get a phone call that she said, not only will he not be getting this loan, he will never get a loan from our bank. He is on the permanent blacklist because he falsified W-2s. Because he was self-employed, and there's rules about self-employment and how you get a home loan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to get around that, since he was the restaurant owner, he just made his own. And the bank caught on. I'm not really sure how, but they did. Because you have to also give them 2 years of tax returns, which I'm sure he wasn't W-2 on his 2 years of tax returns before that. So, yeah. And then after all that, he paid cash. 6 weeks of...
A suitcase full of cash?
Yeah. No.
Was he the cash question?
It was no, that was a different one. But it's like that, those are the things in my head. Like when someone asks you, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be a real estate agent. I want to show houses all day.
Yeah, it's a lot of not
There's a lot of
what you
stress,
think it
so-
is.
But you know what? But it's still
The best career in the
Best
it's
career
best career, and
in
it's
the
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of great people. You
Absolutely.
do get to see a lot of great homes, and it's amazing to go back and see what folks have done with them later.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that's all I've got for funny.
That's all I
crazy,
have
weird.
for right now.
It's hard to think of these things under pressure or Facebook Live.
Yeah. We'll share some other ones in the
Yeah.
comments if we come up with.
Yes,
them.
and any agents or lenders or
Share
title
your
folks that
stories.
have interesting stories,
Right.
share them in the comments. I'm sure all of our
Yeah,
viewers
and
will appreciate
everyone
those.
who commented except Daniel DeLuna gets entered into a drawing
Into the
for
drawing.
cookies at the end of the month.
Yep.
And a bottle of wine.
The wine winner is the wine winner.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's separate.
Who was
And
that?
above.
Who
You
was
have,
the
to,
wine
you
winner?
have to go back through and look in the
I have to
comments.
go back through and look. Hang on.
Was it Dana Mac? Was it?
It was not Dana Mac. It was Melissa.
There you go.
Yeah, she wins.
Well, congratulations, Melissa.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful Wine Wednesday.
Cheers.
See you next week.